If you're thinking about relocating to Charleston, South Carolina, and you just started doing your research, you probably already hit a wall. Your search for the best Charleston neighborhoods, and suddenly you're looking at a list of 15 different areas, all of which describe themselves as charming or up and coming or perfect for families. And none of them actually helps you figure out where you belong. That's exactly why I made this video. I work with relocating buyers constantly, people moving from New York, Texas, California, the Midwest. And the number one thing they tell me when they first connect is, I don't know where to start. So if you're moving to Charleston in the next 6 to 12 months and you want the real honest breakdown of areas that actually make sense for most relocating buyers, stay with me. This video will save you hours of research and help you get focused fast. Here is what makes Charleston uniquely difficult to navigate as an outsider. It's not just one city, it's a region. And within that region, you have areas that feel completely different from each other. Different price points, different commutes, different lifestyles, different vibes. You got the peninsula, which is historic downtown Charleston, beautiful, walkable. You have Mount Pleasant to the east, right across from the Ravenel Bridge. You have West Ashley to the west, James Island, Johns Island, Daniels Island. And then the further out you go, you have Summerville, Goose Creek, and Hanahan. And if you're sitting in another state right now, trying to piece this together from Google Maps, YouTube videos, and Reddit threads, I completely understand why this feels impossible. The other thing that makes this hard, most of the content you find online is either too surface level, like here's the top 10 things to do in each neighborhood, or it's so deep in the weeds that it doesn't help you make a decision. What relocating buyers actually need right now is framework, something that helps you filter based on your priorities, your budget, your lifestyle, your family situation, and your commute needs. And that's what I'm going to tell you here today. In this video, I'm focusing on 3 Charleston area neighborhoods that my relocating clients constantly consider first. And I'm going to break each of these down with real detail, not just the highlights, the full picture. What's great, what the trade offs are, who it's genuinely fit for, and who might want to look elsewhere. By the end of this video, you won't just know what these neighborhoods are, you'll know whether they're right for you. Here's what we're covering in each neighborhood: the overall feel and lifestyle, what your day to day actually looks like living there, price ranges, and what your money can get you, distance, commute to downtown Charleston, the school district situation, who I typically see thriving in each area, and who ends up wishing they have chosen differently. We're covering Mount Pleasant, West Ashley, and Summerville. Let's get into it. Before I jump in, I want to say something that reframes this whole conversation. Most people approach neighborhood search like it's a math problem. They make spreadsheets, they compare square footage and price point and commute times. And look, those things matter. I'm not telling you to ignore them. But in my 10 years of working with buyers, I noticed something. The clients who end up the happiest in their homes aren't always the ones who optimized every variable. They're the ones who found the place that matched the feeling they were after. Some people want to feel like they're living somewhere beautiful and coastal. Some people want to feel connected to the city and real energy. Some people want to feel like they finally have space to breathe. These are 3 different feelings, and they point to 3 different neighborhoods. So as I walk you through each one, I want you to do something a little different. Instead of just analyzing, I want you to notice. Notice which description makes you feel something where you find yourself leaning in, because the right neighborhood for you isn't a data point, it's a match. Let's start with Mount Pleasant. If you have been researching Charleston at all, this has probably come up more than once. Mount Pleasant sits to the east of downtown Charleston across the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge. And that location alone tells you a lot about what it's like living here. You are close to everything. You're close to the water, you're close to the beaches, you're close to the energy of downtown, but you also have your own established community, your own restaurants, your own shopping, your own schools. So you don't need to cross the bridge to have a full life. The vibe is polished and coastal. Think well maintained neighborhoods, mature trees, proximity to the marsh and waterway. It's the kind of place where people go for morning runs along the water and grab a coffee at their local favorite coffee place. This area attracts a lot of professionals, people who work in healthcare, tech, and finance, who want a high quality of life and don't want to compromise on their environment to get it. It also attracts a lot of families because of the school situations. The Mount Pleasant School District is strong. Wando High School, particularly, has a great reputation, and the elementary and middle schools are constantly performing well. Here is what a regular week might look like in Mount Pleasant. You're maybe 20 minutes from downtown Charleston, depending on traffic. The bridge can back up during rush hour, and that is really worth mentioning and acknowledging. But most people that commute, it is manageable. On the weekends, you got Sullivan's Island, Alpha Palms within easy reach. Those are the two most beautiful beaches in Charleston, and they have a completely different vibe than the more tourist heavy beaches further south. Sullivan's Island, in particular, feels like a step back in time. Quiet streets, historic homes, and a neighborhood that's right on the water. You also got Shem Creek in Mount Pleasant, which is one of the most popular spots in the whole area. It's a water-lined street of restaurants and bars. On a nice evening, it's the kind of place where most people fall in love with Charleston. For your day to day needs, we have grocery shopping like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, shopping, dining. Mount Pleasant is completely self sufficient. You got everything you need without having to leave. The price point. Here's where I'm going to be very straight with you. Mount Pleasant is the most expensive neighborhood in the three neighborhoods we are covering today. The median home price in Mount Pleasant tends to run higher than Summerville or West Ashley. And in many of those more desirable subdivisions, especially near the water or with easy beach access, you're going to have a higher price point. That said, what you're paying for is real. The location, the schools, the lifestyle, the access, it all adds up to genuine value, not just for a premium name. If your budget is flexible and lifestyle is a top priority, Mount Pleasant often delivers in many ways, and it's hard to argue with. If you are more budget conscious and are trying to maximize on square footage, this may not be the right fit. And I'll give you two alternatives. In my experience, Mount Pleasant tends to be a strong fit for professionals or dual income couples who prioritize lifestyle and convenience, families where school district matters, and anyone who wants to feel as if the water is a part of their everyday lives. And it's also for out of state buyers who want that feeling that I moved to Charleston day one. For anyone who should look elsewhere if budget is a constraint, there are better options if you want more space, a larger lot, more square footage, or anywhere where your money will go further. That would probably be in Summerville. And if you want a neighborhood with more character and history, West Ashley will resonate with you more deeply. The one question I want you to ask yourself: do I want a polished coastal lifestyle where convenience and beauty are built into my everyday life? And am I willing to pay for it? If the answer is yes, Mount Pleasant is probably calling your name. Now let's talk about West Ashley. And this is one that is genuinely underrated amongst relocating buyers. West Ashley sits just to the west of Charleston Peninsula across the Ashley River. And what that means is that you are close to downtown, like genuinely close. On a good day, you're about 10 to 15 minutes from the heart of the city. The feel of West Ashley is different from downtown. It's not tourist heavy, historic district. It's established, it's residential. It's the kind of energy you feel like when you're in a neighborhood, not in a postcard. What I love about West Ashley and what a lot of my clients fall in love with once when they actually spend time there is its character. You got tree lined streets, older homes with real architectural detail, local restaurants and coffee shops that have been there for years. It doesn't feel manufactured, it feels earned. It also has some really interesting pockets where you got areas closer to the water, near Stone and River that are quiet, tucked away coastal feel. You got neighborhoods that are more suburban and family focused. And you got areas closer to the connector that are for the more practical commuters. Living in West Ashley means that you're woven into Charleston in a way that residents of other suburbs aren't. Downtown is right there. You can literally just be in King Street in less than a couple minutes. You feel connected to the energy of the city, which is harder for people who live in Summerville and parts of Mount Pleasant. At the same time, West Ashley has its own ecosystem. You got great grocery shops, you have local dining, you have access to parks and green spaces. The Greenway, a multi use trail that runs across West Ashley, is something that the residents genuinely love. It's a miles long connector with biking and walking and running, and it's a real community gathering point. The other thing worth mentioning is West Ashley is growing. There is a real investment happening in the area right now. New restaurants, new developments, infrastructure improvements. Buyers who are getting in right now are getting in before the growth is fully priced in. West Ashley is typically more affordable than Mount Pleasant, which is one of the reasons it's attracting a lot of attention right now. You can find a wider range of price here, from the more modest starter homes to the larger properties. In many cases, your dollar genuinely stretches further than it would across the bridge. For buyers who want to stay connected to Charleston without the premium prices of Mount Pleasant, West Ashley often hits the sweet spot. Now, I want to be honest here because I'm always honest with my clients. The schools in West Ashley are a mixed bag. There are some solid options, including some well regarded magnet programs in Charleston County School District, but it requires more research and more intentionality upon your part. If school is your top priority, I encourage you to dig into school specific zones rather than just making assumptions. West Ashley tends to be a strong fit for buyers who want to feel genuinely connected to Charleston, not just adjacent to it. Professionals who commute into the city and want a short drive. Buyers who want character and community over newer, more uniform feel. People who are more value conscious but don't want to sacrifice location. Anyone who wants to be in the area with real momentum. If beach proximity is a major priority, West Ashley does not deliver the same access as Mount Pleasant. If you have school age children and school is a primary filter, you're going to want to do extra homework here. And if you want newer construction and a bigger lot, Summerville will give you more option for your money. So one question I want you to ask yourself: do I want to feel like I actually live in Charleston, close to the city, close to the culture, in a neighborhood with real soul, while making a smart financial decision? If this is you, West Ashley deserves a serious look. And now let's talk about Summerville, which for a certain kind of buyer is the answer to everything. Summerville is about 25 to 35 minutes northwest of downtown Charleston. Depending on where you are and what traffic looks like, and the further out you get from the peninsula, the more the environment opens up for space, quieter streets, a slower, more suburban pace of life that a lot of people, honestly, a lot of my clients who move here from more dense urban areas often find as a genuine relief. There's a reason Summerville is called Flower Town. The azaleas in the spring are genuinely stunning. The old downtown area has a real historic charm, and the community feel is something people immediately notice when they visit. It's a place where you know your neighbors, where the kids ride the bike in the street, where you can sit on your porch without feeling that you're on top of another house. For families, especially, Somerville is just different. There's room to breathe in a way that closer in area neighborhoods just can't offer at the same price point. Somerville is comfortable and convenient with its own bubble. The area has grown significantly over the past decade and continues to grow. We've got solid shopping, good restaurants, strong healthcare options. You don't need to drive to Charleston for your everyday needs. The new construction market here is particularly active. If you want a brand new home, a larger lot, modern finishes, and a neighborhood with community amenities like pools, trails, and clubhouses, Somerville delivers in a way that older, close-in neighborhoods simply cannot. Dorchester District 2, or DD2, are constantly one of the most attractive draws for families relocating to this area. DD2 has a strong reputation across the board and is something I hear about constantly from my buyers with school-age children. I'm going to be direct with you here, because I think a lot of content about Somerville glosses over this. The commute matters. If you're working downtown every day, you're looking at a real drive. And on I-26 during peak hours, that drive can be a stretch. It's not a deal breaker for everyone, and plenty of my clients factor that in and decide it's absolutely worth it for the lifestyle they get in return. But if you're someone who hates commuting, or if your job requires you to be downtown every day, that is a real consideration. So be honest with yourself about it before you fall in love with a house. That said, remote work has changed a lot of this. If you are fully remote and have a flexible schedule, the commute really is a non-issue. And the Somerville proposition becomes even more impossible to beat. Your dollar goes further in Somerville, period. Compared to Mount Pleasant, especially, often get more square footage, a larger lot, newer construction, for a lower price. For first-time home buyers or growing families or anyone who wants to maximize what they're getting for their money, Somerville is very hard to argue with. Somerville tends to be a strong fit for families with school-age children who want top-tier schools and space to grow. Remote workers or hybrid workers who don't need to do the daily commute, buyers who prioritize space, new construction, and value, people coming from larger, denser cities who genuinely want to feel a lifestyle change. This is also great for first-time home buyers who want to get into a home without overextending themselves. Who might want to look elsewhere is someone who wants to feel immersed in Charleston's culture, history, and energy. Summerville is a suburb and you won't be able to fulfill that need. If beach access is a priority for you, the drive is real. If you thrive in an urban community and walkability is important to you, the more suburban pace might make you feel isolated over time. So one question I want you to ask yourself: do I want space, comfort, strong school district, and real value? And am I willing to trade some proximity to the city and the coast to get that? And if the answer is yes, then Somerville is the place where you can exhale for good. So let's bring this together. 3 neighborhoods, 3 completely different experiences of living in the Charleston area. Mount Pleasant is for buyers who want coastal, polished lifestyle with convenience built in and are willing to pay for it. West Ashley is for the buyer who genuinely wants to feel connected to Charleston in a neighborhood with real character and strong momentum and a smart price point. Somerville is for the buyer who wants space, value, strong schools, and a slower pace of life and is okay with being further from the city and beach to get it. None of these are the best neighborhood. The best neighborhood is the one that fits your life. And here's what I want you to know. Figuring out which one that is, that's exactly what I do. Every day I work with people relocating to Charleston from across the country, and I help them get clear on not just which neighborhood, but which specific street, subdivision, and homes within that neighborhood are the right match. And if you're in that research phase right now, I love to be a resource to you. Drop a comment below with your biggest question: commute, schools, price, whatever is on your mind, and I'll answer it. Or if you're ready to get serious and want to actually talk through your specific situation, there's a link in the description to get you on my calendar. No pressure, just real conversation about moving to Charleston. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and that like button so I can produce more content like this specifically for people who are doing exactly what you're doing right now, trying to be smart about moving to Charleston before they make the big move. And until next time, guys, bye.